Hey folks, Adrian here, back again with another video. Not the kind of video I want to do, especially for LOTRO, but here we are. So what I'm looking at and what you're looking at is this is a thread on the forums where someone's reporting about some of the upcoming changes coming in a future update to LOTRO that's currently in Bull Roar. And Bull Roar, for those of you that do play LOTRO know, is their test server. So there's a couple of things in there right now they're testing that a lot of people in this forum thread don't want to see happen. And me, after spending 45 minutes going through this thread, it's a long one, and I promise the link will be in the description box below. You can go and check it out for yourselves. I warn you though, it could affect your mood or your affinity towards SSG in the game. So yeah, again, a lot of us, now that I've read this, I don't want to see some of these changes that they're testing be implemented live. I don't think it's right for LOTRO. And this thread was started on the 10th, I think it was. Let's just scroll all the way up here and see. Yeah, on the 10th of November. So this thread was brought to my attention in a LOTRO Facebook group that I'm a part of, and somebody posted this there, and I'm late to the party, so I don't even know what the current updates are, if this thing's really going to be pushed through or not. So here's the two biggest things you need to know if you are a current LOTRO player that don't browse the forums, don't do the public testing on Bull Roar, and just you're just in game and you're unaware of what's happening surrounding LOTRO. So the two biggest things with the update that people are worried about is, the first one is, as you can see from the title of the thread there, is that Ash is being removed from landscape mobs in Mordor. Now Ash is this thing where Mordor gear, for some of you that are playing through Mordor, killing mobs or whatever, you get a chance. The mobs have a chance to drop Mordor type gear with the light stat, and when you deconstruct that using this special item that you get very early on in Mordor, you're gonna get Ash, which is a currency that you can use to barter for better Mordor gear later on as you move through the zones. So apparently, in the update to 21.3 preview, SSG are kind of removing Ash from being dropped by mobs. So level 106 to 50 landscape mobs will no longer have a chance to drop incomparable equipment that can be disenchanted into Ash of Gorgoroth. Now, incomparable equipment simply means you might get some purples if you defeat an elite somewhere in the region that's guarding a chest or something, and I've come across that a lot in my leveling when I was doing it for the review. In fact, I got a playlist, you can check it out in the bottom there as well. And this is significant because Ash of Gorgoroth in itself is pretty hard to get, especially if you are a new player now just starting. It's going to be hard to accumulate a decent sum of Ash because they're pretty rare, and you may get a couple that you can, but these are not the incomparable ones, so the amount of Ash that you'll get for disenchanting them will be very minimal. That's why people go farming for these better quality ones to get more Ash. Apparently they'll be removing that, so in the future, if you are going to be buying Mordor using LOTRO points in December, you're going to have a harder time getting Ash to get new gear, which kind of sucks. Or if you have completed Mordor and I'm going to be bringing a new alt through the region, it's going to be harder for you to, which is kind of sucky, I suppose. Of course, later on, actually, I don't even know how else would you get new gear. I mean, the crafted ones, let's say you're coming to Mordor with level 105 gear, which probably means the flower type armor from update 19. If you're a casual player, you're going to be suffering a lot, you're going to be dying a lot, and not having the ability to farm for Ash to get better. You're going to have to rely on stuff like the Matham's armor stuff that drops from your daily presence and stuff, which then again, I don't know how many people have stocked up. So this is really kind of crappy. I suppose it makes it more grindier for newer players jumping into Mordor. Unfortunate, really, really unfortunate. And the second, the big one that really caught my attention, because I've been away from LOTRO for a couple of months now because I've had to review so many other games, and I put brakes on my own Mordor adventure because of time constraints. But this one really caught my attention because somebody, according to this guy Deneth, somebody in the BR Bull Roar forum posted a screenshot of raid level gear dropping in loot boxes. That's not the kind of thing I want to associate LOTRO with. Having raid level gear be available in loot boxes, which you can earn keys in game to open these boxes. And if we're talking about the Gorgoroth, the Mordor type boxes, then if you get to level cap and you progress your allegiance story and stuff, you can do dailies, which will earn you, I think, a maximum of 3 black keys, I think they're called. But 3 of the Mordor keys per week that you can earn to open these loot boxes and have a chance at getting raid level gear. I mean, I'm not trying to defend it that there's a possibility you can get raid level gear. My issue is that there's raid level gear in the damn loot boxes. That should not be happening. At least for me personally, I don't want to see that in not only LOTRO but any of the MMOs that I play. So to know that this is on Bull Roar right now being tested kind of sucks. And with the whole ash thing I was talking about, the other way that players can get ashes are from opening this, Mordor loot boxes. But it's going to be diluted, as this OP has said. It's going to, the loot boxes are going to have new stuff in there, like housing items with Statue of Sauron and blah, blah, blah. So it's adding more stuff into the loot boxes, which means, the chances of you opening them to get ashes, which are now being removed from the landscape in huge quantities, which means you can still get them, but not to the extent of, getting a purple item, which means like, 20, 30, 40 ash around that region. I don't know, it's been a while since I played, but simply means loot boxes will be diluted with stuff, reducing your chance to get ash. And then what's going to kick in is that whole thing about, oh, I'm going to have to buy more keys from the store comes into play. And then you're going to keep trying and trying and trying. And oh man, it's just this direction that SSG is taking LOTRO with the whole loot box thing. Not a big fan. I don't want to see it go out of BR into live. And it's just really crappy talking about this with regard to LOTRO, because this should not be happening in LOTRO. I mean, there's just so many posts in here that are, people just complaining, and this isn't even the Bull Roar forum. This is the LOTRO forums. BR has his own forum, and apparently that's going apeshits about this too. So when you look at it in the bigger picture, what they're doing with removing or reducing the amount of ash new players can get, and trying to, I think someone said here they're going to put a cap on ash as well. They're introducing new, some of the raid gear that's going to be in the loot box. They're going to put that into vendors and come the new updates, so you can spend your ashes to get raid gear straight away. It's just, it's not helping with how grindy LOTRO already is. It's going to be more grindy for people that haven't even jumped into Mordor yet. It just made things worse. And think about it, when Mordor first launched, when I was first jumping in and making my way through 115, there were people every day farming for ash. There were groups of people, in raids or in fellowships farming for ash just by gathering, all over the place where density of mobs are very high. You just keep killing stuff and, getting all these armor and stuff and, getting your ash. So all these people now will be super happy that they actually did that. They've got the ash, they've got a huge pool now, they can, they don't have to sit through this grind, whereas everybody like myself who did not take part in, the ash farming that was happening back then, we are gonna pay the price. Too bad, sucks for us, I guess. Well, that's the kind of thing I really hate. And so this new gear coming out, raid level gear, which will probably drop from the new instances as well. There's a couple of ways to get them, but I just hate the idea that raid gear is going to be in loot boxes. It's just really sucky. Hate thinking about it, that it's on LOTRO. It's just, I don't know, honestly. And let me just get to the last page of this thread just to see if there's any updates or not, whether SSG have somewhat come out and made a U-turn on this. I don't know. It just seems like people are just arguing with themselves now. Yeah, somebody mentioned radiance. That's what the whole light and shadow mechanic really is when you think about it now. And now that you can truly see what SSG's plan for with how that whole system works. It just wants to keep you involved in this never-ending grind. Every time a new update comes out, you're gonna grind for new gear, and then upgrade. It just goes on and on and on and on. And now with the whole grinding for keys for your dailies to open the boxes for a chance for Ash, and now for a chance for raid gear as well. It's just so, it's not, who makes these decisions in SSG? Has this person or this group of people do not play their own game? I don't think. I don't know. Any SSG people watching, have you left the Shire? Have you actually played further than the starting regions? I don't think so. If you've played your game, if you've played through Mordor, if you've played through even U19 and 20, doing the flower grind and then doing the resource grind after that, and now doing the Ash and Light grind and the Legion stuff. I mean, have you actually played through that yourselves on your own time? It just seems like the grind is there so you guys can monetize the store and monetize the keys and the chests moving forward, which is absolutely the shittiest thing to do. Yeah, I get LOTRO is a free-to-play game, but we all paid for the Mordor expansion, and my argument is, we bought Mordor. It's not cheap. We still bought it. I expect the quality of life for the game to increase with that, not the other way around. I know I know you need to make money. I know SSG needs to make money, but this is not the way for it. This is not the way to do it. This really isn't. That's my 2 cents on this. And the funny thing is, I'm not even right now, I'm not even actively participating in the end game, and that Ash grind, because I don't care for it. I'm done with grinding. Kind of why I sort of, my hype for LOTRO and Mordor is just waned, because once I knew what was waiting, and this is not from a reviewer capacity, this is from a personal capacity, because this used to be my main MMO. Once I knew what was waiting for me at the end, it just saps my soul that I don't want to do that. There are better things to do once I hit 115 that SSG for whatever reason haven't thought of, or oh man. So on the last page of the thread here, everybody's just talking about what their opinions are and blah blah blah. Let's see. Mr. Toad says Ash being removed from the landscape is demoralizing. The loot box rewards should absolutely not be diluted further, especially after the changes that made grinding keys out of the quest slower. Even that I didn't know, because I'm not grinding for keys. I just know that this is going to impact a lot of people that haven't even been Mordor. And I know there's a lot of people here on my channel that are LOTRO players, and you guys love the game for what it is and what it stands for in terms of its representation of Middle Earth. And I know a lot of you have not even hit level cap, not even in the new region. But how do you feel about cap and endgame, knowing that this is going to be taking place once you get there, and that's what the developers are focusing on? How to keep you there, how to keep you grinding, and feeling the strain of that grind, that you'll ultimately do one of two things: find a new MMO to play, or spend money with keys and open loot boxes and try and get Ash and gear. And I don't know, I'm just beating a dead horse here. So I haven't, this is pretty interesting. I don't know if Andang has seen this, but I really would like, I really want to have a chat with Andang about this. I want to see what he thinks about it, because this is at least for me, it's pretty significant stuff. I mean, having, it's so blatant what they're trying to do here that it just, oh man. Now I kind of want to go into Boulevard and see, see what the world chat in there is like, what people are talking about, because this really should not be going on. And for the grind part, I can understand with the whole Ash thing, that because MMOs, like I said it so many times in my videos that, you know, LOTRO knows the only thing they know how to do well is grind. But the whole store thing with the loot boxes and putting gear in there, raid gear again, is how insensitive are you to the things that are happening right now? I mean, loot boxes and monetization and this whole gambling and pay to win stuff, the conversation around that right now is blowing up thanks to EA and Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Because of that, you know, this thing, you know, EA is taking a lot of the heat, but the truth is this thing has been happening in MMOs for forever, and you know, it just doesn't get the same amount of attention. That's for another video. I'm rambling on. Just about to hit like the 20-minute mark. So yeah. What, you know, when I used to raid back in the day, you could either get direct drops from the instance, which would be the best game in gear, best in slot for best in slot from the raids, and then you could go. You would earn seals and other currency, and then you'd go to the vendors, and then you'd barter for raid gear there. And I used to do that a lot at 85, doing all the Erebor stuff. So you can get raid level gear there. When nowadays, Mordor, it seems like, you know, the whole Ash thing takes precedence, and now I think they're adding that cap, as I said earlier, according to the thread. Again, everything's according to this thread. 10,000 cap for Ash or whatever. I didn't do the Ash farming, so have to start from 0 and try and grind gear, if you can even get into the raid, because you need a certain, you know, light level or whatever. And the other way is just to buy black keys when you're out of your daily black keys or whatever from grinding a week. And if you didn't get what you wanted because the loot boxes are so diluted, then go to the store and buy more keys. Yay! So here's what I got to say. If you're a current LOTRO player, and you know, I know a lot of LOTRO players don't check the forums, don't watch YouTube videos about LOTRO, don't, you know, you guys are just happy playing the game, and that's totally fine. But in the event that you do see this and you don't like what is happening, go and make your voices heard. You have to. I mean, all these people here telling them that this is not the way to go. Apparently it's not working. As I said, the other things to do is vote with your time, play another game, or vote with your wallet. Just don't buy this stuff in the loot box. But it's really, really sad, you know. Again, as I said, not the kind of video I want to make for LOTRO, but it's an absolute necessity. I'm just bringing this thing to light. I don't know how many of you have seen this thread, but you absolutely need to read what's happening over at Bull Roar for this update. So again, the link is in the description box below. Go check it out. Leave your feedback, please. And let's hope SSG listens. That's the best we can do, I suppose. So until then, I'm out of here. I'm working on a couple more videos throughout the week, and I will see you guys then, hopefully in a better state of mind. Well, thanks for watching, y'all.
Greetings, programs. You have reached the end screen of the video. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the button in the middle. If you want to watch more videos, click the cards to the left or to the right. Shutting down now.